thinks we like retro games.
The Falklands? But we've got too many games to get through today.
What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games, please. What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games this week.
Yeah! Hello! Yes, it is me. It is Jace at Retrogames! Yeah! How are you? Happy Friday. Happy Retrogames Day. Yes! The weekend is here. Thank goodness for that. Did you everybody see my old Tetley on his channel this week? Check this.
So then we're on to a bit of BBC Micro. Both of these came from Jace at Retrogames.
Yeah, I'm absolutely flattered by that. I love it. If any of you guys have done some more impressions of it, I think Retro Bear might have done an impression of me doing that once or twice. I like it. What is it they say? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I love it anyway. I love it. If you all want to be me, that is awesome. Thank you very much for that, Lee. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. We've got a lot to get through today. So much games and stuff to talk about. It's been a big listing week and just loads of interesting, exciting things. Let's start with this.
Tell me the Retro Games news.
Now, do you remember Palmer Luckey? He's a looker, isn't he? That guy. Now, he's famous for inventing the Oculus Rift. He grabbed virtual reality and said, no, we can do this now, technology's here, and he created the Oculus Rift. And I'm a huge advocate of VR. Virtual reality is a brilliant way to play games. You're inside a game, what's not to love? Now, this week, Palmer announced that he is going to make his own headset. He's going to come back into he's redevelop it, he's back in the marketplace to make a new VR headset. There's going to be an announcement by the end of the month. And I just thought that is so crazy, isn't it? He sold his company, he made the Oculus Rift, he got loads of people, supporting it through those websites, Support Me, whatever it is, Fun Finder, Fun Funder, those funding websites, managed to build a prototype, and then, crazily, he managed to sell the Oculus brand to Facebook for £2 billion. He was only 20 years old. Can you imagine being 20 years old and having £2 billion? Now, I was looking at this thinking, wow, that's crazy. So he must have massive regrets. Despite the £2 billion, he regrets selling Oculus. Isn't that sad? I mean, he's always been chipping in on his Twitter X feed how he thinks that Facebook are doing a terrible job. And now Apple are doing a great job, apparently. But he's been desperate to get back. He regrets it. So I just had a little look, and I didn't realise this, but Palmer Luckey, he's a bit of a retro gamer, and he decided he's going to remake the Gameboy. Yes, mod retro, be excited. Top quality advertisement here for the Gameboy. That's Tetris, I recognise that. Okay, tell us about it, Palmer.
The goal here was to build the ultimate way to play Game Boy games. Not just the next one or one of many, but indisputably the very best way. The most authentic, the highest quality, one that will last for generations as a piece of heirloom-grade tribute art. And that's a very different perspective than most game consoles or even most products.
Or spend some of your money on an analog pocket. Weird, right? And it doesn't even play Game Boy Advance games. I mean, I don't want to throw a spanner in the works here. Lucky. Is he lucky? Yeah, he got £2 billion. But, Nintendo kind of beat you to this decades ago with the Game Boy Micro. That is pocket-sized. As long as you don't mind getting it scratched up against your keys, that is a beautiful way to play Game Boy games on the go with a great screen. I don't know. You might have wasted your time with that one. But anyway, it made me think, do you remember Notch Pearson? Notch Pearson, he invented Minecraft, and he also sold his company for $2.5 billion, this time to Microsoft. And people have kind of forgotten about Notch now because it's like 20 years ago. But can you imagine 2.5 billion? And people, he regretted it almost straight away. He publicly said, "Oh, you know, now I'm not part of the scene anymore, and Minecraft was my baby, and now it's all gone." And you kind of think, I don't know. I mean, if someone wants to offer me 2 billion for retro games, absolutely fine. Oh.
I found a game that I like. It's got a really good vibe. You ride around on a bike, and then you take to the skies. A magic flying machine. Fly to the edge of a screen. Why is everything green?
New jingle, yeah! Talking of Game Boy, as we're not talking about Notch. Notch has actually started a new development company working with Voxel Graphics to make another game a bit like Minecraft. They can't leave it alone. You know, you wouldn't have thought in your 20s you sell your business for 2 billion plus, you're going to be hankering to have it back, because let's be honest, you're not going to achieve anything quite as good as that again, are you? It's all over. You got to your early 20s, and then that's it. Life is over. You sold it. You're a billionaire. But who cares? Who cares? They all look up to Elon Musk and think they can be like him. Right, tools of the trade. We've got our petrol. This is it is lighter fluid. It's for refilling lighters. Very hard to find now, but you can get it on Amazon and places like that. And you can also get it in Home Bargains. You can get this. Now this is for sticker removal, and this is a scraper. This is made by Brother. It comes with a special printer for taking laminate off, but it's a brilliant label scraper. Enter Tetris DX. Enter Tetris DX. I'm going to show this on the camera. Look at that sticker. Absolutely awful. That sticker is from KMS Videogames in Peterborough. I'm going to do this. Is what you do. You cover it in your petrol, rub it in a bit, and then normally you might give it a little weight. Don't have to this time because I've tried it lots of times. Normally stickers will slowly start to lift. You can slowly bring up the corner and you can very, very gently and carefully bring it off. But you can't with this one because this sticker, it is so stuck. Look at that. It's pulling the image off the bottom. It's the most frustrating sticker I've seen for a long time. But the gutting thing is, this is put on by an independent games retailer. This isn't done by some big chain, some don't care, Tesco's or whatever. No, this is done by someone who's dedicated their life to opening their own game shop. This is KMS Video Games, official PlayStation Centre. I'm not sure about that. They're from Huntingdon in near Peterborough. They've got a Sega Saturn logo on this label. I guess they're probably out of business. But if they're not, and if you had anything to do with KMS Video Games, you should be disgusted with yourself, because you must have destroyed thousands of rare card boxes with your awful stickers. And why put it on the front? Why put it on the front, you selfish scumbags?
I went to ZX and I bought a game. Xbox 360. I didn't like it, but I played it all the same. On my TV, I streamed a video pretending that it wasn't that bad. Now I'm famous all over YouTube.
The other day I showed you a disc and I talked about mods. Mods, it's a term that I've created, like Time Frost. Mods, marks on disc. It's all about the way that 16-bit discs are slowly going mouldy and rotten and destroying our games collections. Cheer up, boys. I found a better example. This is TV Sports Basketball for the Amiga, and I thought, because last time I showed you it was very hard to see, and then I got this one this week and I thought that is definitely coming on the show, and now I can't see it. I found it. Okay, are we ready? Watch the window, watch that. What? That is mods. There's a beautiful example of a big mould spot on a 3.5-inch disc. And I hope that you're all aware of this already. Obviously, I see so many discs. I check so many discs. We test so much stuff every week. I guess I see a lot more of this than any of you guys, luckily for you. But it's horrible, isn't it? Because that disc is lovely and shiny, apart from that big white blob of mould right in the centre of the disc. And it absolutely renders that game unusable. Just very sad. Just thought I'd cheer you up with that one.
Atari in the house!
Thanks, Gav. Yes, we had some beautiful Atari games on the site this week, like this amazing Centipede. I know it's a common game, but not usually in this condition. Jungle Hunt, Atari's rival to Pitfall, but look at the cover art. Yes, that is Terry Thomas, isn't it? I bet Atari never gave him a penny. Double Dunk, it makes your biscuits too soggy. Roadrunner, based on their classic cartoon. And what about this? Xenophobe. This was an arcade coin-op. I remember playing this in the arcade. Sadly, the VCS version does lack a little bit of graphics. Fun. Part of the fun of this game was that it was split screen and you could play 2-player. But it's pretty feeble, I will admit it. Come on, please, just shoot me. Thank you. The classic Spider-Man. Yes, this is from 1982, and just look at the condition of the box. And there he goes, scaling the wall with his big tongue. Beautiful Wizard of War. We covered this for the Commodore 64 recently. A brilliant 2-player maze shooter. Rampage. Yes, on the Atari. A complicated game, but it does a pretty good go. It's definitely Rampage. And finally, Obscure Racer, Fatal Run. It might not look so good now, but it was pretty stunning compared to other VCS racers. Fatal because random walls appear on the track. Thank you. Right, now you're probably wondering, what the heck is that thumbnail about? What are you on about the Falklands for? Well, that is because last week we had a visitor. Yeah, a visitor who'd come 7,000 miles to come and meet me and tour the Retrogames facilities. Yeah, if you come 7,000 miles, you get a special tour. And I thought, I'm going to get him on the show. Let's talk about, I've known him for a long time. Mike, let's get him on the show and talk about what it would be like to be a retro gamer on a tiny island in the middle of nowhere. So here's the interview, an interview on the show. It's something different. Hope you enjoy this. And now I have a guest. Yes, a guest on the show is like Parkinson. This is my friend Mike. Now Mike is a lovely lad, and he is from the Falklands. And wow, yes, we are lucky enough to have. Actually, we have got 2 customers from the Falklands, and I've been chatting to these guys for years, but I find it fascinating what it'd be like to be a retro gamer in such a small community. So I thought, well, let's just grill him. Let's just grill him. He's got no choice. He's here.
Go for it.
He's here for a visit. He's had the tour. Now he's got to pay the price. Now, so you are this feels funny. You are a serious collector of video games. How long have you been collecting?
In the grand scheme of things, not that long. Not as long as the other guy down there. Probably
Dan, which is a big shout out to Dan.
Yeah.
He might watch this.
Right.
to see his mate on there.
Try not to embarrass you, mate. So my collection sort of came on a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it was, but I've always had like the old consoles. Like we still kept hold of the old Sega Mega Drive that was mine and my sister's.
Yeah. So you grew up. The first console experience for you was Mega Drive.
Yeah.
And that was a Christmas, was it? Big prize.
It was like. I think it was like sort of a big mixed present, like sort of a bit of birthday as well. And
the old double. Double. It's your Christmas present and your birthday present. Don't be so greedy.
It was. Well, I mean, you know, our parents, you know, always try to give us a wonderful, amazing life, but you know, in the earlier days, you know, times were a bit harder, and so these things didn't come around too often.
I mean, a lot of us share that. I think that is a very familiar story.
Yeah.
But you never got rid of the Mega Drive because there is on the island. People keep up. We've talked about this. People keep hold of things for a long time. So so that Mega Drive was what was continually used, right? Even though, did you still use it as other things came out, or did you put it away?
As I was becoming like a teenager and things like that. Always wanting the new around that age. And, like, you know, get hold of the PS2 and such, then unfortunately the Mega Drive did get boxed and went into the loft. But thankfully, my parents do like to keep hold, particularly my mum. She's a little bit of a hoarder with things, so that was very beneficial to us.
Good.
So the Mega Drive was all, and it was amazing. It was all perfectly, very carefully packed away, including the original Sonic the Hedgehog poster that came with.
Wow,
the box
good.
Like
oh, your mum's good.
Yeah,
your mum is good.
and as well, like my sister with all of her things like that. Essentially, she was the one who got me into gaming.
Oh, was she
originally? Yeah, always.
Is she still into it now?
Oh yeah, she still enjoys it.
Yes, and a big shout out to Samantha Brownlee, who's now with the RAF based in Bryce Norton.
So retro gaming is a family pursuit then? You and your sister both into it?
Pretty much, yeah. My father, he also enjoyed his gaming. He was more on the PC with old games like Blood and Quake and things like that.
Yes, still very popular.
Trying to get to sleep at night, you just hear all this gory action going on from the computer.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. My dad would never have played a video game. But he did used to make those noises, which is odd. The thing of so now you've got you're collecting, you buy stuff. I mean, you have to import. If there's no games on the Falkland Islands, lots of questions about the Falklands. What's your broadband like?
Not great.
How many people live on the Falklands roughly?
So there's about 3,500 civilians and
3,500 people. That's all.
Yeah, there's about 2,000 military out on the base as well, but
you don't count them.
No,
they're not
necessarily.
but don't they still come into the town and say they're still there?
Yeah, exactly. And we're very thankful to have them there as well. You know, very very appreciative. But no, there's 3,500 people and but a very thriving little community.
Is there? So. How many shops are there? Have you got High Street full of shops? Because 3,000 people is not a lot.
There's quite a few. There's a few shops, but this day and age, if you are wanting to purchase new games, new consoles, you do tend to have to go away and buy them or order them in. There are a couple of places that do get them in to sell them, but
there is.
Yeah.
So there is a games shop. Oh, it's a general store that sells.
Yeah. There's a shop. So there was one shop. There's like an electrical store, part of one of the large companies down there called the FIC.
Yeah,
and they used to sell like consoles, some consoles and some games.
So say when the PS5 came out, I mean, could you go in there and buy a PS5, or did you have to order it, or?
Oh, you couldn't get a PS5 for love.
Well, nobody could
when it came out.
No, nobody could. True.
But
say now you wanted a PS5 when there is supply in the UK. Would it be tricky if you're on the Falklands? You're not going to buy mail order. Could you get one?
I believe you were able to get one. So the other place that you can buy that sort of thing is actually our internet providers, called a company called Shaw,
right?
And they've got a shop area at their base.
Okay.
And they sell phones from there, and they do get in some consoles. So I believe. You are able to buy PS5s and stuff from there now.
But you can't. There is no shop you can just go down and browse new games. You can't go down and just say, there's new releases.
No, not necessarily. No. It's not.
So you're really relying on mail order.
Yeah, and or a lot of people will just try and download them. They
yes, coming back to broadband, how bad is it then?
It's I mean, it's okay. It suffices. I mean, we don't have unlimited packages, anything like that.
Oh, you have to pay per.
Sorry, Dan. I mean, he works for Shaw.
Does he?
Yeah, he works for the provider. But
right.
It's it does the job, but there's certainly a lot of improvement.
You're really
trying to be diplomatic.
You're not giving me the numbers. Are we talking 2 meg line? We all know broadband speeds. I'll tell you, I won't upset you too much, but I'll just say in this building we have a 900 meg line.
That would be.
We have a fibre connection 900 meg. So
yeah,
what have you got compared to that? 10 meg. Well, if you go down the countryside,
around that
10.
area, yeah.
So if you want to download a PS5 game or a PS4 game, you're looking at leaving it overnight job.
Yeah, and if you don't want to rinse your package, you've got to start the download after midnight, where they have a space between midnight and 6 a.m. where
it's cheaper.
Where it won't. They sort of won't be taking anything off the megabytes that's on your package. It'll just
freebie bit.
Yeah. And
Oh, wow.
You've got to kind of start your download.
Can I ask
then.
how much your package is and how many megabytes you get for that? I know this is a bit boring to broadband, but it's what I think about island life. Your disconnection from humanity.
So my for example, my package is I'm paying about £120 a month and it's around
For 10 meg.
80, and my package is about 82 gigabyte. Sorry, 82 gig. Yeah,
Yeah, 82 gig. So over the course of a month.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's so
Which sounds a lot. It sounds a lot, but we all know them numbers.
When you're trying to watch a movie on Netflix, things like that, you're constantly watching your phone looking for the text coming through saying you've used 50%. Like, no.
So that is quite harsh, because I guess you're in a community where you really are reliant on, say internet TV. It's quite important.
Yeah, I still have a lot of DVDs at home.
Yeah, old formats live on
Yeah.
in the Falkland. Have you got VHS?
Yeah, I still got
Yes!
VHS, and I've still I actually bought another VHS player off someone not so long ago.
Did you?
Just so I could keep them going.
Wow. No, that is that is interesting.
Well, there's some of those old movies, and there's the experience as well of just that lower quality picture and sound. That a movie doesn't sound right without it. Or look right.
There is a joy to reliving how we used to watch stuff.
Yeah.
But that's enjoyable for us because we're not having to do that anymore. If that's actually the options, maybe it's not quite so good. No, fascinating. So your collection now, does it have its own room?
Yep.
Is it a games room?
Yeah, it's it's sort of the spare room, but
Is it?
it has been taken over as my.
Have you got any photos you'll be able to send me that I can edit into this little video
Yeah.
so people see your games room in the Falklands?
Actually, Mike sent me a lot more than that. It's just nice to have a look at the Falkland Islands. It's so remote, it's so far away. It's 300 miles off of the coast of Argentina. But it certainly isn't how you expect a South American country to look. It looks like Scotland or the Outer Hebrides, one of the Shetlands. It's got a Scottish look about it. Well, apart from the penguins. An archipelago of over 700 islands, there are two main ones, the East and the West. East is where everybody lives and works, and West is where you go to relax and have fun. Now, this photo is of Mike's house. He built this house himself. Wow, it looks very nice. That is the view, and that is his dog looking out over the sea. Here is Mike's games room. It's all very blue because of that sign, but you can see it's a nice collection. Another view with the curtains open, and there is his CRT TV, yes! Now, Mike also sent me some other photos. These are whales just off the coast. This is the West Island where you go to relax. And this picture is of Mike standing on a rock holding a beer. Brilliant. And this is Mike and his dog. You have to wear that hat over there. I think this must be Mike's parents. Hello, Mike's parents. How about that for a natural arch? And the wildlife. Yes, big sea lions. He's having a sleep. And those penguins, there are 320,000 breeding pairs of penguins on the Falklands. And you didn't think you'd find that out on a video game show.
You've got your collection. You collect console. I know this. He collects consoles rather than computers, which is fine. That's fine. But he did start at the NES. He got the NES, and you go right through. What's your favourite console to play at the moment? What's your favourite? What's big in the Falklands now?
Oh, that's a tough one. Without taking too long to think about it, I'd probably have to say still.
SNES.
I enjoy the SNES, but I was always brought up with Mega Drive.
Oh, the Mega Drive, of course.
Yeah,
you start with your roots.
For nostalgia, I'd have to say Mega Drive, followed by the PS2, mainly for
PS2 still.
Mainly for the Time Splitter games.
Time Splitters, yes, written by the GoldenEye team, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Free Radical Design. I know this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so the scene, the retro gaming scene, are you seen as a weirdo on the island? You've told me before, you know everybody on the island. Do they all go, oh, not Mike and it's games? Oh, not Mike the weird games guy. I ain't talking to him again. Have you got a reputation Have you got a reputation as a weirdo?
No, not really.
Because I have. No. Well, we're on the fringes. Retro gamers are on the fringes, aren't we? We're not seen as proper gamers. We're seen as like, you know, weird hobbyists who like to dabble in old things.
Yeah.
But no, so you're not derided? That nobody throws things at you?
No, not at all. You know, they're not sort of dragging me through the streets or anything yet. No, it's I guess it's a bit of a different culture down there. You know, it's get around, like me and Daniel will like message each other, you know, certain things like, oh, did you see this, or did you see, oh, have you heard such and such who's got this?
And would you get together to play game sessions? You do get together? So you're on your Mega Drive playing 2-player stuff?
Yeah, exactly. We'll sort of have a message with that, and the odd occasion where we can sort of work out where we're not both stuck working or busy, and we're able to get together for a gaming session. It's like pre-arranged. All right, what we're going to be playing today, you know, things like that.
Now this is excuse my ignorance, right? But this is because I'm just used to dealing with people in Finland and Norway. Does it get dark early there?
It's not quite like Scandinavia, no. It's so at the moment we're going into winter because it's southern hemisphere.
Yeah. Is that harsh winter?
Can be harsh.
Yeah.
We can get some lovely weather coming up from Antarctica to join us on occasions. But then again, there can be like some days where it can be cold, but then there's some days where it's just lovely and bright as well for some reason. And but yeah, I mean, we do have like shorter days. Like it's not as bad as Scandinavia, but so at the moment, I think daylight you'll be seeing. I think when it's at its shortest, it'll be like daylight sort of comes in around 8 a.m, 8:30.
Okay.
And then disappears by about 5. 5. And
that's in the winter though?
Yeah.
So that's kind of similar to here then.
Yeah, it is very similar.
Because I always feel, I paint the world with the same paintbrush, but in the countries where they have a long dark periods like Finland and Norway and Scotland even, there seems to be more retro games because people were brought up on games because of those long dark nights and playing video games. I just associate with, you know, if you're in a remote place and that video games are brilliant comfort, and I don't know, just a brilliant pastime.
Yeah.
But you two are really the only two retro. Do you think you're the only retro gamers on the Falklands?
No. There's a couple of other guys. There's a few other guys we're aware of.
Few.
Yeah.
It's a club. There's how many is it? What, 5, 6? Total? Call yourself retro gamers. You'd actually say you're retro gamers.
Yeah. So it's hard to say really because there's people who there's people who like to collect it behind the scenes as well and don't really come out of the woodwork or anything like that. Yeah.
Secret retro gamers.
But we know who they are.
You're looking through their window. What are you doing? You're playing Kid Icarus. Stop it.
Yeah. But there's still loads of people down there who enjoy the games. Don't necessarily collect them. They might have a couple of things, but they still really enjoy them. And there's actually a page in the Falklands of Falkland Islands Games, it's called, and there's people who sort of post stuff up on that of like old systems they still enjoy or whatnot. There is a bar down there called Groovies. Shout out to Groovies.
Yeah! I want to go there one day.
And they have Thursday nights. They have gaming night, and I've been taking some of my old systems down there, and I'll connect it up and let people just go and have a go on it.
And is it you just standing there like beckoning people to play and nobody bothers, or do they play it?
Oh, they loads of people come in, especially if I get like the N64 set up.
Yeah.
People are like,
best console ever.
GoldenEye on, you can't get people off of it then.
Oh, fantastic.
What was really popular, as you know, because I bought them from you, was because I've got a larger CRT TV I'll take down there. I'll set up Dreamcast with House of the Dead 2.
Oh, because it worked with the guns.
Yeah, 2 of the guns.
Yes.
And people are just all over that. They absolutely love it down there.
Yeah. Because of a lack of gaming, maybe gaming is even more exciting there.
Yeah.
Than it is here, because we see games everywhere.
Yeah. But and these gaming nights are brilliant because they do, in Groovies they do food and get what you drink, and people are just having And I have to say, Arturo, best burger in town.
Who was that?
Arturo is one of the team that have set up the establishment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great
is
guy.
there a lot of nightlife? Have you got a lot of pubs and clubs? And there's only 3,000 people. I'm thinking it can't be.
Drinking's a bit of a pastime.
Yeah.
It's
well, it's a British tradition, I think.
Yeah. Very British place. There's even someone has the roof of their house painted as a Union Jack.
Is it more British in the Falklands than it is here, do you think? Obviously, because we're very multicultural now.
Yeah. I mean, we are a bit multicultural down there, but it's very patriotic to Britain.
Is?
Down there, yeah, extremely patriotic. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Fiercely so.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like with footballs on, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's the pubs that get... There's not really any nightclubs there, but...
and you get to vote in our elections, don't you?
No.
Oh, you don't?
Not in the UK.
Oh, you don't?
We are British citizens in our passports, but we don't because we are independent in our government in the sense that we have our own legislative assembly that we will vote people into that. It's almost like, I suppose you might say, it's like a county council.
Right.
In the Falklands that we will vote in.
It makes sense, really.
Yeah.
You don't really want Richie Snacks dictating what you're doing. No, I think that's really fascinating. I don't know if other people feel the same, but I am jealous. I love the thought of that's really close community, knowing all your friends, getting to know everybody's hobbies and sharing stuff. And I don't know, I think just probably the way we've grown up, it just seems so amazing and exotic and kind of like safe, cozy. Maybe it's a cozy life, and we all look after that cozy. Here, people are getting robbed, and I guess crime's low over there.
Oh, very low. Like,
crime.
I don't lock my house. I don't lock my car.
You don't lock it? I hope you locked it here.
Don't listen to anyone back in.
Well, I think that's probably. I've got enough out of you, haven't I? I've squeezed enough out of you. But if there's any more questions from anyone, I can always forward them on to Michael. We can get the answers.
Happy to answer, no problem.
And I do hope I get to see some pictures of your collection. I hope I come to see you in the Falklands. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh, absolutely.
Jace in the Falklands.
Come on down. I'll take you to Groovies as well.
Yeah, me and Groovies. That'd be good. No, thank you very much.
No problem at all.
It's been good fun.
Very much, mate.
All right, let's move on to something else.
Now, as you might have been expecting, we had a lot of Dragon 32 stuff on the site this week. Thanks, Gareth. Like this original Dragon 32 boxed console. Well, how about this? This printer actually uses pens to draw on the paper. Amazing. Now, if you didn't know, the Dragon 32 is actually compatible with the Tandy TRS-80, and it shares the same joystick sockets, so you can use the same controllers.
And also for the Dragon, we got these. Now, these are boxed controllers. Thank you, Gareth. Box controllers for the Dragon 32, but they have not been out of the box. They are brand new, and we've dealt with Dragon stuff for a long time, but you very rarely see brand new. So I thought, well, I'll get them out on the show. Now, the Dragon controllers are strange because they are analog, even though they did make plenty of non-analog joysticks. And there you go. Let's get that. Look, that is how they're packed. Elastic bands around the cables, poking through the cardboard. Turn it over. There's the bottom of the controllers, and I'm going to pull one out for you. They are very neat controllers. Look at that. They've got, brand new Dragon controller. Lovely action. I think it's really, that is retro, isn't it? That action of moving. Similar to the BBC joypads. It's not going to call that a joypad. It's a joystick. I like the angle. I like holding it like this. It's an unusual. They've never explored making anything else like this. Very easy to use your thumb on there, and then a separate hand to do the direction. It works. It's tactile. It feels good in the hands. So yeah, beautiful collection. Now that's the standard Dragon 32 controllers. But we had another set, and these ones are a bit different. This is the Type 2. So, Dragon have gone back to the drawing board. They've used the same packaging for the new version, but these are different. And you might have seen one of these before. So again, sticks poking through the cardboard, and there's the bases. They're a bit different. And look at this. Look, so it's the same. So instead of that stick, it's quite. They are quite different, aren't they? They could be turned into cartoon characters and have their own little sitcom. you've got the long tool, thin one, grip it one hand, second one, or you've got the wider grip, probably not as comfortable. This one is probably not as comfortable. You probably still have to hold it in the left, but you can't really get your whole hand around the back of it. I have only got little baby hands. And then you've got the fire button with your thumb, and then obviously, I still think it's nice. It's still nice. But yeah, just interesting, isn't it? Never had the comparison before to be able to show you the original Dragon 32 official controllers versus the later reissue ones, which are quite a different design, quite a big difference in design.
My name's Shaw, and I love bridge. My name's Shaw, and I love bridge. My name's Shaw, and I love bridge. My name's Shaw, and I love bridge.
What will you show us?
Now, one thing that us 8-bit gamers, particularly 8-bit gamers, really love is a top quality, expert loading, cared for cassette player. Check this.
We've been loading tapes all week, testing this fantastic range of original cassette players like this beautiful Bush model. What about this? I never rated Alba back in the day, but this is a fantastic data recorder. Everything loads first time. Fancy something more techie? What about this from Ferguson? Yes, Ferguson used to make TVs, but there's a proper data recorder with a monitor function. Very compact design. Again, a brilliant loader during our testing. The Tandy CCR83 for Dragon and TRS-80 computers. The beauty of this is they included the connection cable for the Dragon computer. They knew you were going to lose it. They just knew. Another Tandy classic, this compact player includes a little leather case to put it away safely. Now, who do you think makes this? Yes, WH Smith's not someone you think about making electrical products. But how about this, the WH Smith CPD 8300, the king of Spectrum loaders. It's got a light up meter to show you your levels. You can monitor and hear everything as it loads. Probably the best data recorder ever made.
And on the subject of cassettes, I just noticed this week. Backpacker's Guide to the Universe, not in the top 10. Backpacker's Guide to the Universe. It features Ziggy, do you remember from Pyramid, Doomsday Castle? The third game in the series was Backpacker's Guide. It never came in a clam case, it came in a normal cassette case. Ta-da! Now, I only noticed it comes with a code card. It's unusual, there's not many games that came with codes. It comes with a separate manual. Look at that, there's a lot of game prevention going on with this game, but I'd never noticed this before. Now, what can you think? Right, I'm going to show you the game, and then I'm going to tell you how they describe it on the inlay. Okay, here's the game.
And here it is. It's not a bad multi-screen maze shooter, kind of like adventure elements to it, but you'd be forgiven for thinking it's broken because there's no sound. I'll just leave you to soak it in a bit.
Soaked it in? Yeah, Backpackers, we all know it. This is what it says. Not just a game, more a way of life! Yeah, it's a way of life! That game is more like a way of life. I can't imagine anyone put more than 2 or 3 hours into that game, ever. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some Backpackers experts out there, but ooh. Moving on, Jace.
I didn't mean to break your pencil. I didn't mean to steal your gum. I didn't mean to read your magazine. I didn't mean to shag your mum. You told me you loved me.
Okay, big show news today. This very episode is our 250th video on YouTube. Yay! 250 videos. We got there. I mean, that is a lot of content. That is a lot of content. I've churned out a lot. Oh no, you're thinking, yeah, was that content? Yes, that was content. We beat a few of the hardcore. We've also been doing it for a lot longer. I think we've got more videos on than Tetley we have. Maybe Gen Pix. Have we gone ahead of you? 250 videos? Nowhere near Retro Bear, and I think Retro Ed's got tons. You know. But anyway, it's amazing to get to 250. But my big thing is, probably enough, Jace, isn't it? It's probably enough, isn't it? 250 videos? I think you've done your bit, haven't you?
I found a game that I like. It's got an old school vibe. I ride around on a bike, avoid the lessons in Skype. I shoot a cup off a wall and watch the headmaster fall. It's nothing like my old school.
Yeah, now at this point in time I have no idea how long this show is or how long it's going to take me to edit tomorrow. So in reference to that, in deference to that, let's get on with the top 10.
What's number 10?
And we start with the PS3 and the Book of Spells. This is by J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, if you didn't know. Does anybody not know that? It's a game that uses the PlayStation Eye and the Move controllers to make a wonderful kids book come to life on the TV. It's very much aimed at kids. It was incredibly unsuccessful, and I don't believe we've had this in stock before, so it was a nice thing to join the site this week, and it is sealed. It is mint and sealed. I don't know if you'll ever want to play it though.
What's number 9?
What the heck is that, Jace? This is an SSA1. It's for the Amstrad CPC. It's first party. That means it's made by Alan Sugar himself. Alan Sugar in a small shed knocking this stuff out. I think there's not many of them, so maybe. This is a speech synthesizer. I'll just get it on the big camera there. Oh, there it is in its lovely box. I love the design. They're very consistent across all the peripherals for Amstrad. You've got this crisscross checker design and a lovely artist's impression of the contents. That beautiful hollow Amstrad logo. It says CPC 464, but I do think this would be compatible with the 664 or probably the 612A as well. I don't know. Maybe it's released before they came out. Now, here it is. Here it is. It is a pair of speakers and an interface, and it is a speech synthesizer. It's got the instruction manual, very, very dry. Lots of coding routines in there. But let's get it out. Let's get it out. So we have this, the interface. The interface that plugs into the Amstrad. We have two of these, two lovely quality. I mean, they've got Amstrad written all over them, haven't they? Very lovely quality speakers. And then in the middle, of course, we've got a software cassette just called Speech Synthesizer, compatible with the interface and the speakers. It's a very nice set. There's definitely a lot more interest in Amstrad peripherals than there used to be. I think it's a very nice thing. Moving on.
What's number 8?
Tonight, Jace, this is your life. No, it's not the Red Book. It is a mysterious plastic case. You're thinking it's what, some sort of kid's typewriter in there? Yeah, maybe. This is a non-proper case, but a case for this computer. Now, we haven't had one of these on the show, and I just thought, wow, as one came in this week, I will put it on the show. This is wrapped in plastic, a Z88. That's a Cambridge Computing Z88, and it's the last Sinclair computer in a way, because when Amstrad bought Sinclair for 5 million quid, he thought, what should I do with that 5 million quid? I know, start a new computer company for people who are serious about computers like me. The thing about Sir Clive Sinclair, and we all forget this, we all go, oh, Clive, yeah, Clive. Clive hated games. Clive hated gamers. The Spectrum was never ever meant to be for games. The ZX81 wasn't meant to be for games. It was just, that's what sold it. So he was kind of lumbered, bringing games out for it, because there is Sinclair games, obviously Hungry Horace, Horace Goes Again are on the Sinclair label. But in 1984, he's making the QL. He's thinking, well, fresh start. I've got to get this to be a business computer. He wanted to compete with IBM and Apple burgeoning at the time. He wanted it to be a serious computer for people to take to use at work. And I think he was always gutted. And I think that's probably why he wasn't so devastated by selling the company to Amstrad because it gave him that fresh start. And so with this fresh start, he called the company Cambridge Computing. I guess. But this was the first product, and it looks specky a bit, doesn't it? It looks a bit. It's got some rubber keys. The rubber keys are just like the Spectrum, really. This one has got a small issue. It's got one key that has detached itself, which is a bit annoying, but it still works fine. But Amstrad made stuff like this too, didn't they? Terrible little screen, no TV output. It's just like an expanded calculator. Is that rude? It seems it, doesn't it? It seems a bit rude to say that. It's got the cartridge ports on the front. No games ever came out for this. So Clive was happy to say, because it virtually sold none. It was very, very unpopular. Now, I'm just going to try and turn this on. Now, to turn it on, you press both shift keys. Oh, there we go. And this is what you get. It's like a very simple menu. What should we choose here? End of text. Oh, okay. Let's go over to the diary. This is the diary pro. You know, it's like some great big organizer. You can write programs for it, but they're only going to run on this grey screen, aren't they? I mean, it's techie. It's techie. It's not what we wanted from Sir Clive. He should have come back with a, Super Spectrum console. He came back with this, and history punished him for it, didn't it? Because this, what did he end up with? He ended up with like just this legacy of stuff that he didn't really like. Strange, poor Clive.
What's number 7?
Mr. Doo-Doo. Just because, look.
Yes, it's better on the ColecoVision, but every week we seem to be asking ourselves the same fundamental question. What is the difference between Mr. Do and Dig Dug? Answers on a postcard, please.
It's not really just about the game, though. The game is fun, but it is the box. Look at that artwork. Who is that crazy guy? Look at him. It's like something out of Neverending Story. It's such a beautiful design. They would not make a cover like this again. Immaculate example. Beautiful box. It's sliding around inside as it was intended to do. There we get the cartridge. It's very simple. It comes with the standard CBS cartridge. We've got the manual, and we've got like some tips guide or something extra in there. What a beautiful game. Atari is definitely in the house.
What's number 6?
And I thought I'd show you this one myself. This is Wild West Seymour for the ZX Spectrum, and we all love the Spectrum. I love the Spectrum. Now this is a very, very rare Codemasters game, and it's very hard to get a price for it. Now we've gambled and we've put this price on it, but looking through several aggregate sites, the last one that sold on eBay went in 2012. And the last one we had was just the empty box, and we still sold that for 20 quid. So here it is, Wild West Seymour. Let's just check the game out.
Now you can probably guess what sort of game this was going to be. Every single game at the end of the Spectrum's life, all the Codemasters games were versions of Dizzy. It didn't matter if it was Seymour, Dizzy, CJ, they're all the same, kind of arcade adventures, arcade platform adventure games. But they're a lot of fun, and it still amazes me how much they managed to get into that 48k memory at the end of the Spectrum's life. These are big, complicated games. These are going to take hours to complete, and they're all running in 48k with multiple screens and proper soundtracks. The Spectrum programmers were so blimmin' clever.
Beautiful, there it is in the case, lovely spine, there's the back. Now it has got a small issue. While the inlay is in lovely condition, there's the cassette, well, but Seymour, and it looking good until, oh no, someone's written the codes in pen. I mean, it is a special space for the codes as you progress through the game, so you can keep a record of the codes for future attempts. But it is a bit of a shame that such a rarity has got biro in it. I mean, you see more. I see a lot of biro on inlays, sadly. It's always nice when we noticed. Moving on.
What's number 5?
Please, Mum, I want this for Christmas. This is the ZX Spectrum expansion set. Now, this was very rare. None of my mates had one. We all looked at it and thought, I'm never going to persuade my mum and dad to buy me that. It is the microdrive system for the Spectrum, but all sold in a special box set. It seems mad that they sold the Interface 1 and the ZX microdrive separately, just in case you wanted to save up, you just like try before you buy, because the Interface 1, you need the microdrive and the Interface 1, they work cohesively to work on the Spectrum. Now just look at this plastic, I will put it on the big screen, but this plastic insert is beautiful. And the outer box is a bit tatty, but look at this proper hard vacuum formed plastic insert for the microdrive, and I love the way the little connection cable sits in. Got some microdrives, you know microdrives, you know what these are, don't you? There's a lovely, you get the little book in there, the expansion system, and let's just pull out a game. Anti-Tac is the only game that comes with it. Anyway, just in case you don't remember, these are microdrives, little tiny little wafer drive things. Yeah, not many of us ever use them. Again, just typical of Sinclair, aimed really as a business thing. It wasn't for business, Clive. But yeah, beautiful. I'll get the microdrive out, Jace. Get it out. Come on. It's a bit stiff in the plastic. We have taken it out already to photograph it. But no, I'm leaving it in. I'm leaving it in. It's got all the manuals and the gumph. Just quickly, you can have a look at the manuals. It's got proper glossy, loads of addendums, software manual and extra stuff. It's just a lovely set. Complete your ZX Spectrum collection.
Number 4.
Now you may remember recently we had the 7800 version of Mario Brothers in stock, and we had a little play of that. Well, this is the Atari VCS version, and again in beautiful condition, close to 10 out of 10. I want to sing it, but I'm not going to, but just check that manual. What a beautiful thing, so glossy and new. You just don't find games like this very often. Now the game itself is so good, it is so fast and playable, 2 players at the same time. Such a big upgrade over the early games in the Atari inventory.
What's number 3?
Oh Mel, what have you done to us now? One of the rarest Spectrum Automata games, this game is Crusoe. Crusoe, it's not all about the Pie Man. It's kind of pre all the Pie Man stuff. Let's check out Crusoe for the ZX Spectrum by Automata.
It's actually quite an unusual game. It's like an adventure. You use text to maneuver around an island. But it's very fast. You are controlling an arcade game with text. I can't think of many games that let you do that. And the graphics are okay, they're alright, that's a volcano. And really, typing in instructions in an arcade game just opens up a whole wealth of new controls and possibilities for the game storyline. It's an interesting title.
And there it is, beautiful cassette, beautiful game. Now it's all about on the reverse of Automata. If you don't know this, Automata games for the ZX Spectrum, they had music and themes on the back. And this one has got this, Desert Island Floppies, Dan Defoe and the Castaways. And it's like a Desert Island Discs parody with some of the great music from the other games on the Pymania, on the Automata label. And it's a lot of fun.
Not the Falkland Islands, you idiot!
I can't believe I managed to get the Falklands back in the show.
See? It's fun.
What's number 2?
Yes, it is a Dragon 64, the expanded version of the 32, but in the box. Oh wow, it is many years, maybe 10 years since we had a boxed Dragon 64 in stock. It's a lot better colour, it's kind of grey, not that horrible yellow nicotine Dragon 32 colour. Other than that, it's just expanded memory on a Dragon 32, but what a gorgeous example. Far rarer than the 32. Not many products and games made use of the extra memory. Even includes the 64 supplement.
here it comes, it's number one.
And here it is, number one. It is a ZX Spectrum toasty toast rack. That's what they call it. I hate the fact it's called the toast rack, but we're stuck with it now. That's what everyone knows it as. This is the last ZX Spectrum released under the Sinclair label before Amstrad got their greasy, oh Alan, greasy hands all over it. And this is a beautiful set. I mean, the outer box, yeah, you can see the outer box. Oh, turn it around, Jace. The outer box is a bit shabby. It's got somewhere, you know, it's been around the block. But the contents, let's check out the contents. I mean, most of you will probably already have one of these. If not, why not? Why not? It's the king of original Spectrums. Of course, it looks like a Spectrum Plus, and nobody really likes Spectrum Plus. Can you imagine a rubber keyed version of the 128K? That would be great, wouldn't it? There we go. There it is. Let's get it on the big screen. Beautiful. It's got everything you need. There is an incredible computer. And there's the toast bit. This is where you slot your toast in there. I mean, you can't get thin loaves anymore. When I was a kid, you get a thin loaf, but even them wouldn't fit. Maybe milk loaf. No, I don't even think milk loaf is going to fit in there. That is not big enough for a toast rack. So I don't know. Whatever moron came up with that, they were wrong. They were wrong. Maybe it was just got hot enough to cook the toast. Maybe you just put it on there. But yeah, beautiful condition computer, and in the box we've got everything you expect. You've got the ZX Spectrum guide. You've got the 128 separate supplement, perfect. And you've got the two games that came with it, Super Test and Never Ending Story. And you know, it's a landmark machine. It's an incredible, it's fully working, of course, fully working, fully tested, in beautiful condition. Never Ending Story, never ending show more like. What a great item to end the show on. Beautiful, what a beautiful thing. Thank you for watching. Until next time, happy retro gaming, retro gamers!
Retrogames says thank you for watching. Retrogames says thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Now just imagine if there was a 3D handheld console that took cartridges and we were lucky enough to have the only one in the entire world.